called lockdown mode that locks it down even further so that the vCenter server becomes more or less the only thing that can send instructions to each ESXi host. And if you're a person that is particularly concerned about security, well, that just makes your day very, very happy. So those are the data center products here. If you're used to seeing ESX, ESX no longer exists in version 5. We are all using this new ESXi version exclusively. I'll skip over the cloud products for a second because there are some product extensions here that make ESXi and vCenter do different things. vCenter Operations is a tool that brings the metrics, so all the performance stuff, think perfmon in the Windows world, all that performance stuff and the configuration stuff, all of that gets consolidated into a much easier to use, a very nice interface. I will tell you over and over and over again that the two most important activities in every virtualization environment are performance management and capacity management, and vCenter Operations makes those activities easier. Also is Site Recovery Manager. You already know probably that a fully built vSphere environment has this neat thing called HA, which is a cluster that if I lose a host, the virtual machines on that host will go somewhere else to continue performing their activities. Well, typically that somewhere else needs to be close in physical proximity to the dead host. All of the hosts have to connect to shared storage. Well, what Site Recovery Manager does is it extends the availability to a second site if necessary. So the hurricane creates the tornado, which causes the roof to collapse and flood your data center. All of that. If any of that happens and your data center goes away, well, Site Recovery Manager is the mechanism that will allow you to very rapidly fail over to a secondary site with all of the interdependencies correctly configured so that you can get back into operations very quickly. That's what it's for. Orchestrator what it does is it creates an almost framework with which you can add in additional automations. So Orchestrator allows you to say, I want this to do this because this has happened, and then roll in information from this to enact this change. And it's almost kind of developer-ish, but it's almost more like runbook-ish if you're familiar with runbook automation. Orchestrator is a mechanism that says, I want to essentially create actions based off of other behaviors. And Orchestrator is one of those tools that you will need it when you know that you need it. I guess at this point in your learning, you'll know you'll need it when you realize, oh my God, I need to be able to do this. And so Orchestrator will suddenly become important. Now at the desktop side, there are some other products as well, the first of which is VMware View. Very well known for its role in enabling desktop virtualization. And desktop virtualization, if you are completely unfamiliar, nothing more than let me virtualize Windows 7 or Windows XP and then deploy access over the network to my users. So my users are remotely accessing Windows XP or Windows 7, but it's back in my data center. So if you're a big fan of desktop virtualization, VMware View is a solution to do that. ThinApp is a tool that links with View or with really anything that will virtualize your applications. So you spin off a virtualized desktop and you want that virtual desktop to have Microsoft Office and your custom app and Oracle just-in-time, the Oracle client just-in-time installed onto that desktop. Well, ThinApp can do that. Neat software. Actually, very neat approach for delivering applications. Workstation we've talked about before. Workstation is the tool at your desktop that you use for simulating environments, for doing demos, for learning. ACE is been around for a long time, didn't get a lot of use early on, but ACE is essentially Workstation plus policies. So you can deploy out ACE and users can make use of different policy type things. So you can use this version of this VM, but you can't use it in a bridged networking scenario.